Now, you also go on in your book a little bit talking about the importance of when you're buying a business, building the business, finding a platform-based business model, okay? And basically leveraging a platform, using that as your roll-up or your acquisition kind of structure. And I just want to talk a little bit about that a little bit, because the importance of finding the right business when you are looking, maybe you had your first exit, maybe your liquidity. And again, some of our listeners are investors or single-family office members, where they obviously have deployed, either a controlling interest of these companies, but the importance of that, definitely, if that is going to be your strategy in regards to rollouts.
Yeah. So, first of all, if I look back at the 3 empires that I built for 9 different private equity firms, one of them I bought 23 companies and put them together. Another one I bought 34 companies and put them together. In all 3 cases, I started with a platform company, and I was building, large scale companies for large, institutional investors. And so the base, the platform company I started with, had hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue when I started, and when I think about private equity, just as an asset class, as an investor, as a buyer of a company, generally speaking, we buy the platform company using a mixture of debt and equity. In normal interest rate environments, it would be about 50% debt, 50% equity. Today, equity checks are bigger because interest rates are higher. And so, it's you. But once you buy that platform company, the checkbook gets put away by the private equity sponsor, and now we're going to leverage debt. Probably 100% debt in most cases. And I think of the last empire that I built, I bought 23 companies and added them onto a platform that already had a couple $100 million in revenue. The platform was bought with this mixture of debt and equity. I bought all 23 companies using 100% debt because the cash flow of the base business plus the cash flow of the 23 smaller businesses that I was buying could service adequately the debt that was required, to buy these add-on acquisitions. So by using a platform, I call it clay on the potter's wheel. I've got clay to work with. I've got some type of a sizable asset that has a real track record of revenue and earnings. All 3 of the companies that I built started with a platform company that had been in business for over 40 years. So long-standing business, had long, experience running, stable revenue and earnings base. And then these small companies could be leveraged with 100% debt because I had that cash flow with the base business. So one of the things, when I start, if I start with nothing, so I'm doing a buy and build right now in the robotics industry. We started with nothing. We didn't start with a platform company. We've bought 4 companies now in the first year and put them together, small businesses. We're building that platform. It adds a layer of complexity, though, when I buy 4 small companies and none of them, have what I call as a scalable platform because they're all small. When I buy a platform to serve as kind of the base, the base amount of clay on the potter's wheel, it doesn't have to be hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. It can be much smaller. But I now have, call it a base, a scaffolding from which I can start working. And I have enough clay on the potter's wheel to where when I'm adding things on, I have enough, clay and structure to work with that makes it easier to do the buy and build and to buy the subsequent companies and put them together.